Here we are again. I don't know why I'm doing a video. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but there's a lot that needs to be said. Hi guys, I hope you lot may be feeling a little better than me. There's so much to say. I just can't bring myself to say it, man. It's just so Forest. This whole thing is just so... I am so sick of semi-finals. I really am. 4-0 on the night. Silver lining, I actually thought it was 5-1 on aggregate. It wasn't, it was 4-1 on aggregate, so... positives, yay. But I just don't think in that performance there's anything positive to take out of it. And there's going to be so many consequential knock-on effects from it. And it is really worrying, or we need to discuss it. I just feel like I'm going to wake up and it didn't happen. I don't know. Like, we can do the whole thing where, yay, Forest, you know, 2 months ago, would you have taken a semi-final? Be on 42 points now and everything. I hate that stuff. That's not for me, because you play the moment you're in. That's the difference. We played ourselves into a semi-final. We've played ourselves into form. We played ourselves to win 10 games in a row. Top goal scorers in the league. One of the least conceded amount of goals. Absolutely on fire. And they don't turn up. They don't turn up. We can talk about the injuries. I saw Pereira's interview after. It's the first time I've been disappointed with his interview. Yeah, there was nice bits in there, what he said about the fans and the players and what have you. But when he turned and he listed Aina out, Gibbs-White out, Murillo out, Sangare out, Callum Hudson-Odoi out. These players and more have been out when we played Chelsea and slapped them up. When we played other teams and slapped them up. I don't like injury excuses. And the reason I don't think we can use injury excuses is, one, Villa outplayed us. You know, objectively, Villa deserved to be in that final because they put on a hell of a display yesterday. But secondly, there was still 11 players plus all the subs that came on that should have been on that pitch fighting, playing, chasing everything down, winning the ball, bodies on the line and everything else like that. Where was that yesterday? What happened to what we've seen week in, week out under Pereira? That's the bit I can't forgive. Yes, of course, these players are not as good as some of the ones that are injured, but we weren't saying that when we beat Chelsea the other day. We were laughing at Chelsea saying the B team came up, turned up, put out a performance. So where's that gone? You're telling me the Chelsea game was more of a motivation for them than a semi-final where you're 1-0 up. Let's not forget the position we were in. We were 1-0 up at halftime going into this. Put out another 90 minutes. Dig deep. Get that performance. Get it over the line and patch everyone up. And then get to the final. And it just wasn't there. It wasn't there. The fight, the desire was not there from the players. You could almost say in a weird way, being 1-0 up didn't help us. Because that first half was horrific. The mentality was poor. It was on the back foot, trying to slow the play down, kick it long. Villa pressed us so hard in that first half, choked us. Silly mistakes. Even the first goal. Milenkovic gets it to Cunha. It's not cleared properly. Anderson slips. Buendía snakes his way into the goal area. Crosses it. Just silly goals. Second one, Milenkovic, man. The Serbinator. Felt like fucking the last scene in Terminator 2 going into the lava and all that shit. But I can't believe Milenkovic yesterday. I can't. He's way better than that. The setup was wrong. Pereira's got to hold some smoke on it. He really does. I've been praising his ass off over the last few weeks. Tactically, he's been astute. Tactically, he's got it spot on. Yesterday, tactically, he got it wrong. Setup was wrong. Player selections were wrong. And then he talks about these players were named in just name, basically, on the bench. So why? Why have them on the bench? And if you're saying it's because it's a morale point of view, it gets, the others going. It contradicts what you say because you then put Murillo on. If Murillo was still injured with 3 minutes to go, why are you bringing Murillo on? One, a defensive player when we're, whatever the score was at the time, 3-0. You're bringing on a defensive player to chase a game that if you lose, you're out. You may as well sub off all the defense and put anyone who's got, anything about him who can shoot. Play him up front, whatever. Lose 1-0, lose 5-0, doesn't matter. There's no goal difference in a league format in this. You go out. So why put Murillo on and then tell us afterwards that he was still injured? I don't get that. The consequences of this are huge. Because you look at it now, barring a miracle, Forest don't get European football next season, right? There is a mathematical possibility. I don't think I'm even deluded enough to say we can do it. But if Forest win all their games, I think we end up on 51 points. And subject to how far down the league table it goes, it could go down to 9th or something like that. You could sneak in. I can't see it happening. I think this is going to knock the players back, especially for the Newcastle game, right? But I just think to myself, what now for Forest? We're back to a game a week. Now we're in a position where there's going to be all kinds of stuff coming out about Anderson, Morgan Gibbs-White, Murillo, probably one or two others as well. We've got a squad that potentially needs some rotation in there. McAtee was rubbish again yesterday. I've tried with this guy so much. I've seen signs of life. Anytime he's given me even a little sniff, man, just show me a little bit of cleavage, anything, I've been happy to grab onto it, and just say, okay, there's the player that we saw at Man City, even that we saw at Sheffield United. Give me the McAtee from Sheffield United. I'd settle for that. And then he produces a stinker yesterday. Why? Why are these players not motivated enough to sit there and understand that this game is huge? This game was a ticket into the final, which we probably would have won, and a ticket into the Champions League, which brings revenue into the club, which brings a trophy into the club, as in the Europa League trophy, which brings more eyes, more sponsorship deals, more everything into the club. And now we're going to have to seriously assess this squad once the season's over. I think we're safe, right? You're not going to see West Ham or Spurs win all their games. But we're going to have to look at some of these players, and the books will need to be balanced. Anderson's definitely going to go, in my opinion. Murillo is making signals and signs like he wants to go. Gibbs-White, I think people will want to come after him. And then where does that leave us? That's a spine. Is Chris Wood going to be fit enough next season? Yes, he's come back and scored some goals, but barring the goals, where was he last night? How did he miss that chance, man? That puts us level on the tie. Chris Wood scores that 9,099 times out of him. Where? I can't even do the maths. We were so close, man. I've seen one semi-final win from God knows how many attempts from this club. It's just depressing, man. End the season. Newcastle next. Man U after that. and boring mouth. The season was a disaster. It started to shape itself to feel like it could be one of the best ones. And now I look at it and think to myself, are we going to be the reason fucking boring mouth get Champions League football? Because we've opened the door. Because if Villa now go and win it, boring mouth finish 6th. That's on us. That's on us. But we've got our own problems to deal with now. What happens to Pereira in the summer? Does Marinakis look at this and think, seeing signs of what happened at Wolves, won like 10 games in a row at Wolves, and then couldn't win a game, couldn't win a pre-season game, started off horribly. I don't know, man. This is just me talking of raw emotion right now still. I've slept on it. I feel worse, if anything. I don't know. But I will be backing Freiburg in the final, I can tell you not that much. I'm not doing this whole... I'll congratulate Villa, they deserved it yesterday. But fuck me if I'm going to back them to win it. Fuck that shit. I don't know. We'll be on Grumpy Old Reds tonight. I've done my predictions for the weekend. They were done before Forest played. So my mood may be better. So if you want cheering up, go check it out. I'll leave it on the end screen. We'll see you on Grumpy Old Reds tonight. It's over.